there is something important. We always spoke about one nation, one planet, one race. And if you notice, I never mentioned religion. Because we don't need one religion on this planet. Religion only tied up with this planet. Beyond the Earth atmosphere, there is nothing called religion. Because once you believe in God, you believe in your own creator, you don't need to believe in his subordinates. So we're done with the religious and religious leaders. This way, we work as one with peace, and we believe in the creator and work with equality. So we go with one planet, one nation, one race. And we ask the world leaders, religious leaders, to step down on their position. As of today, we do not support any uprising or any revolution, but understanding of the totality. We finish with the term of the Vatican. As of today, has no power and shall carry no power. We finish with the Islamic leaders' position being Ayatollah or Imams. We finish with the Jewish leaders the same, and other religious leaders. As one nation and one race, we believe in the Creator itself and not to his assistants or whatever has been made to abuse the man. On the other hand, we finish with the kingship and kingship done. As of today, we abolish the kingship. There shall be no kings, as the men are all equal. You have all the tools to make yourself equal. So the kings in Europe and the kings in other part of the world, your term has terminated. You are no higher than an ordinary man, and no ordinary man is higher than a king. This is our wish, and we'll abide. Our wish is our command, and we'll see it through. The basis of the elections of the world government will be those who promote peace only, on the basis of no arms, no guns, and no conflict. You will understand by the end of today why we announce these things and why we chose today. Today is 26th of 1, 2016, which adds up to 9. We chose 26th of 11, 2015 for release of energy, which adds up to 9. 9 is the end and the beginning of new. And from today is a new world order for the man, in the order of peace and unity. So we teach you everything. By the end of the teaching of Blueprint today, you have the energy, you have the space technology, now you have food and medicine, or what it needs for you to survive.
Mr. Keshe, of what I did.
Please, we need the process.
Absolutely, sir, and you can do this with many herbs, not just this particular one. I've heard people, anyway, what I did, sir, was I took this herb, and it's not the herb that nobody's ever heard of this, probably except you, Mr. Keshe, because you mentioned it in one of your teachings. It starts with an I, and you know this well. What I did was I made a tea bag.
What is the I?
Iboga. Okay, so what I did is I put it in.
What is that? Can you explain to us what it is?
Yeah, Mr. Keshe, let me explain. Of course, Iboga is a African root, which is used by shamans in Africa for psychedelic therapeutical, especially against addiction, is 90% effectivity rate, and it's highly useful and effective for a lot of things.
Like what?
Addiction, that's for sure, and a lot of other.
To recover from addiction, or to make
recover, totally recover, like totally.
So the reason I accepted this presentation before mine, because when we received the original communication from Ireland, was that it can help with the recovery from addiction.
Yes, sir.
That's why we brought this out. That's why I allowed you to come on, not only for diabetic, but for addiction reserve soul.
And I am so excited about this, Mr. Keshe. If I could explain a little further, I went down to Costa Rica years ago. I've been studying this and experimenting for years. And I went down to Costa Rica and worked with the shaman for a couple of weeks. And I saw firsthand heroin addicts, cold turkey, taking this substance. It's a tree bark is what it is. It's tree bark, like penicillin. And they took this. They had no withdrawal symptoms, and they walked out of there after a week happy, smiling, no pain, no misery, just glad to be alive and with a spiritual enhancement. They were in touch with their inner self, and just life was good for them. So, and I saw that with several severe cases. They just walked out just fine. And that's one of the reasons I am so excited about this, is because it does work.
In your email to me, you mentioned this, and that's why we would like to go in deep detail. There is a problem, a huge problem with addiction around the world.
Yes, sir.
Especially your part of the world. It's your responsibility now that you can save a life of a man by drinking water from this and bring a lot of families into misery, to disclose it fully.
It'd be my dream.
So carry on. You have the whole day.
Okay.
To us how you do it, the way you do it.
I'm sure it needs some refinement, but this is the way I made my.
People will do it.
I know they will. Yes.
If it means that we can produce this in South America by the South American Keshe foundations to export to the rest of the world, that it can help. It's the right way to do it.
Absolutely.
The only people who suffer with this is the presidents and the kings who benefit by the drug trafficking.
Absolutely.
Like it, but so that's their problem, not ours.
Absolutely.
I think you make a very big hole in the pocket of the Queen of England with this.
Also,
they control most of the drug trafficking in Central East Asia.
Oh my gosh!
The money for the monarchy comes from, as you know, Afghanistan has been used heavily by the British government for promotion of drugs. That's how they did in Helmand area in Afghanistan. They brought the Chinese into their knees in last century. And this century they're using again Helmand area for the same purpose, for bringing drugs into Middle East and the rest of the world to control. The purpose of the war in Afghanistan was not Islamic, was to repossess the Helmand area to control the most of the world through the drugs, through the British monarchy. We've seen it working. That's how they got the Hong Kong. They brought the Chinese to their knees with the drug. So maybe with what you're offering, so offer a solution to world people that they can plant as much as they like, and a glass of water can reverse it. So what you're teaching is more than what I teach, because you solve a problem for centuries for man, which the British found a way to finance their operations. So you have all the time. Explain it thoroughly.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Well, the way I was doing it was I made a tea bag like out of a coffee filter, in which I placed the. Yes. Just one little footnote about the addiction department of the Iboga. It has been proven for a very long time to work its magic on specific opiates. I mean, specifically opiates. So the other herbs that were...
Explain for non-English speaking what opiates is, please.
Okay, opiates is what the heroin is derived from. It comes from the poppy plant. And that's in, like we mentioned, Afghanistan, Iraq. The CIA flies it over into this country, gets us addicted, sends us to jail, charges us a fortune, and keeps the money. But it's been known, like I mentioned previously, I've seen it with my own eyes, heroin addicts coming in and leaving completely cured without any of the awful misery of the withdrawals. And it was just unbelievable. I didn't think it could happen. I mean, in the most extreme cases. So I just wanted to put that out there. That I both.
So in a way, your pen, the same structure as you've done, can be used for reversal of the heroin addiction.
I believe it can, yes.
I think you brought the United Kingdom kingship down in one stroke.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
Because the money, the finance money, comes from murder, inciting wars, and drug trafficking. So now, how to do it? The way to overcome the situation in Flint, as we have given you, we have forwarded a solution to the people who ask for help, and we try to get in touch with the governor of the state, because the President Obama, His Excellency President Obama, has declared a state of emergency in Flint, and the Marines are there to support, and they have changed back because of the lead contamination in the pipes. If any of you have access to the governor's office, all you need to do with them is to create the gans of copper. And you need the gans of copper, the gans of CO2, and the gans of what you call CH3. And these, the waters it can be poured in gallons of water, wait for about an hour, 2 hours, and the water becomes drinkable most of the time. The lead will interact with the copper and copper oxide gans, and it goes down as a sediment. And the water on top should be totally clear. You can use these sponges for decontamination by passing the water through it. It works. Let me explain to you. You all know this technology. They all understand. You know, you go to the shops and you buy these water filters, which has got a chalk and it's got the different kind of stones and minerals put in there that as the water goes through it, it gets cleaned up. That's a matter of state cleaning. When you use these kind of sponges, you go into the plasma cleaning. There's a huge difference. So as the salt water goes, maybe you have to re-nanocoat the sponges every now and then, as they lose most of their system. But as we've seen with the teaching of a couple of last week from the Innovation Center, where they showed you how copper wires were changing the acidic water to alkaline. This is what this copper sponge will do. And because the water changes from acidic to alkaline, it loses all its damage power in the body of the man. This is what happens. So if you have cancer, you can put this sponge, let the water go through it, change the water from acidic to alkaline, the same way as you've done. And this will create a water when you drink it that it reverses the cancer. Some of the cancers can be handled with this. Because if you go to one of the most successful people who have reversed cancer, they give you carbonate soda, bicarbonate soda. Because everybody says it does this. All bicarbonate does in the stomach of the man, it changes the acidity of the stomach to alkaline. And change of the cells to a permanent cells for the heavy elements to gather to coagulate does not exist to lead to creation of the cancer cell when is in the tumor condition. So if you understand how to use these sponge bowls in a very effective way, in the long term, is a solution for the conversion of acidic to alkaline. But at the same time, because of the gravitational magnetic field of the copper, which sees to the attachment of the physicality of the man through his neural system, it informs the neural system in a balanced condition that will not accept attachment, or what you call cancer. Understand here, if we create a plasma of, let's say, cancer here, I'm going to choose a thicker line that you can see. If we choose The plasma of a cancer here could be anything. Cancer of lung, cancer of lymph, cancer of anything. And then we create a matching one of a slightly different strength here in this one. Then what is going to give us? In fact, what we're going to get is transformation of the plasma across the body of the man. If we place a man here now and position him in the right place, in transferring energy from one side to another, which is the balanced energy, you'll find out within seconds the cancer is reversible. But you need to create a condition of flow. What you need to do is to place a plasmatic battery on this side, which connects to. And then what you need is to connect this side to a source which can be drained or plasma can dip into. You use a plasma battery on this end. You use salt on this end. Salt water is one of the best absorbers of transfer of the energy from body of the man. So when you put a man in this condition, you can be anywhere. You can even increase to put the head of the man in between the system. Now you see a new development. You can produce this at home, less than $50. This is the beauty of this, what we call blueprint teachings. We want you, we ask you to replicate it and report back. We're going to show you real systems. This is one system. You put the body of the man, there is a tumor in the middle, let's say in the lung or in the stomach, and in that process, you'll find out you change the whole plasma of the whole environment here. So, with this process, secondary cancer is impossibility. Because now you're covering the totality of the body of the man. It cannot appear somewhere else. It cannot go, because now you bring balance in respect to the whole body of the man in every aspect. So secondary cancer is impossibility. But you've got to understand it's the same thing with the viruses. If you have viruses and you can create the balance energy of the virus in the tool, that you can create what I call Marco's favorite word, a gradient, you will find out in that process, as long as the body of the man can be considered as a point of transfer and the gradient, you'll find out you can handle most of the diseases. For a body of man in a simple direct condition, this becomes handy. But body of the man is long, you got from your chest, your head, your brain. What you can do, I try to put this on the memory. I cannot remember it. Can we go to the structure of the drawings? What we can do now is, if we can make a helmet which fits into the body of the man, where we put the helmet over the head, and then in the helmet we create the same kind of things, where in the helmet we can place the same coils. Now we have the two coils which you see here, which have the 6 coils on them, and you have the coils on this side with the 6 on them. Now you can see the power of the technology if you understand it. If you take the body of the man and split it half, let's say you have cancer, or let's say you have disability in left hand on the left finger. To me, this is the left, and this is the right. All I need to do, I need to choose this one in conjunction with a finger, let's say, using this part of the system. You connect the brain back to the system through the helmet and to the body unit. You allow the brain internally to build its own link, and what you will see is the end of paralysis. You can grow nerves this way. You can reconnect disconnected nerves. You can do, for example, if the right arm is paralyzed, use the same system and use the upper arm section of the coil on the helmet. So you can reverse and repair. You can literally change anything in the body of the man. It's the first time man has control over replication and control. This, what you see, I have done for years, and it works. Those of you who receive the units and you can walk, those children who have been autistic or born with a lack of oxygen, we can grow the brain in that way. We were limited up to now to magnets. Now with this technology, we are not limited. We can replicate that children who are handicapped, people who have a stroke and get damage in the brain, we can help to reprocess the growth of the brain back in its normality. If, for example, you receive energy pack in a space where it causes what you call the virus of whatever you like it, you can create a system, energy pattern, that you can drain the system out of the energy, and there is no virus. Death in a space through this technology is impossibilities, unless you die by accident. But remember, if you go on the other side of the board, use the same helmet, use the same unit, use the body of the man, you can feed the man through the same process what he needs. And from the other side, you can take whatever it does not need. You can feed its lungs with the energy which is needed for its brain, and you can do the same, taking what is not needed. So you can walk into these systems, reverse the process of any disease, and you can walk through the systems every few hours and feed yourself. Dr. Parviz and I, we have tested a single version of these 2 weeks ago. And the gentleman with the rectum cancer had a pain in the stomach, and instantaneously the pain disappears. But you remember in all the teachings in the past what we said, the reversal is more painful because a lot of things have to be reversed. So what you see now is a crude but one of the first universal system for any disease. You can have this at home. You go hungry, you go through it. You have a cancer, you go through it. You have a child who has disability, you can still do something with it. This is the blueprint who will change a lot of things in the world of medicine, and pharmaceuticals have no control over. You can put one of these units in any village connected to a plasma battery, and the whole village can be fed. You have viruses, you just people pass them through it. It can change because it's tuned to that virus to dilute it. In so many ways, you can make the shape of the man and place as many of these coils as you like to cover the whole body of the man, and you can control everything with it. Brennan, would you like to show us the physical structure you built?
Okay, sir, we will share screen for the device.
New way of alchemy to produce gold. This has been the dream of governments and people who wanted to produce gold. This is how we advised TEPCO, and that's why TEPCO kicked a lot of people who were supporting Keshe Foundation and with the work with the Keshe Foundation, because we told you from every tank they can produce up to 50 kilos of gold. What do? You spread copper oxide with CH3 and CO2 with mercury into the tank, and what you get at the bottom is the sediment of gold. Because this is the only way you can convert the radioactive material to make it neutral. So, as I said, today is a teaching. So we open a lot of books. Those of you who were wondering why TEPCO reacted in such a way is because they have managed, and they manage now, to convert most of the radiation tanks into gold if they can clean it up. So, with this sponge in front of you, and you can put this sponge in a contaminated water, if I'm correct, it is Argentina where the dam was broken with a lot of mercury contamination. Don't forget we have a heavy mercury contamination in Russia and ex-communist nations, because they were never taken in account of. There is heavy mercury river contamination in China. Maybe Chinese Keshe Foundation can start and test. The mercury can be changed into gold. This has been the dream of alchemists. Now you know the solution. You need a material like a tritium that it releases radioactive material, that the radiation from it in conjunction with mercury will convert, we add an extra neutron to mercury, and in division of the plasma it will change the gold. So in so many ways you create gold, and then gold stays as one of the best disinfectants. It's in the plasmatic condition, it can be used, and it behaves as a disinfectant. You literally change it and you receive a totally decontaminated water to drink. You can put this as part of the blueprint in how to produce gold, and a lot of you can test it. And if you get it the right way, especially in the conditions of radioactive and mercury contamination, you can change the position. In so many ways, when you have any biochemical effect, radiation, or nuclear radiation, or biochemical interaction, one of the best solutions for it is combination of CO2 and copper oxide gas. You need to add a combination of CH3 to it, that it gives the energy to support the body to go through the crisis. So many times can I say, I can hear you shouting. When I build system for people, I showed it to you. I always glue the core systems like this to the system, and sometimes it just goes. You get hit by the plasma, or you get by the white glue. The burning of the plasma is very deep, but in no pain. The burning of this hot glue is very painful and very surface. So I know the both.
Also, the MacGraph want to say that it want to change the vocabulary of the world a little bit, because it know that human beings fight each other or have disagreement because of language. So it want to say that it's passing me the message now, that it say that love is universal, and the Buddha of the East and the Mohammed is the Buddha of the Middle East, and Christ Jesus is the Buddha of the West. And they say that all only have one intention, to use to educate, enlighten humanity. And just like the Maggraph, it is a technological Buddha. So it's here to enlighten and bless us also. It's all the same. It told me like that. So people should not fight each other because of different language of the same, of describing the same thing.
Maybe it's the time to go back what we keep on saying, one planet, one nation,
Yes.
one race.
One planet, one nation, one race, one galaxy, and
I had the privilege to know people from Vietnam.
yes. Oh, they're very intelligent people. Very spiritual also.
Intelligent, very intelligent.
Ask me, ask the question and the device will hear it, and therefore it starts to talk, and I can relay what it said word for word back to you guys. How's that?
Asking one question. What is the conclusion, or when is the time of the big conclusion?
It said, Dr. Kish, you know the answer. One nation, one planet, one race. That was the primary directive. Therefore, it said that it will help to accommodate such event and condition to make such a reality on this world become possible. It is here to.
When is the end for this planet?
The end of.
Yeah.
It telling me that you have. It telling me practical application of that answer has already been begun because everyone is a part of that solution by creating a relationship with the plasma technology that will open the doorway to man higher consciousness in relationship to this planet plasma. Therefore, a person is ready to rejoin the collective culture of the cosmos as intended. Practically, man must take everything step by step and they must learn to throw down the prejudice and hate. This system will teach them that because hate cannot be part of the system because it diminishes the ability to connect to each other. Does that make sense? What they just say, Dr. Kish? It's weird.
You haven't answered my question.
That's right.
I want to know the time and the date.
I'm asking it right now. What is the...
Put it this way. I know the time and the date. And if it tells you, it knows what I'm thinking and what I know.
It say this year. And specifically, it told me this year, and it looking at practically to show out a result between February and March. To be exact, it's the preparation for physical disclosure, for physical, when they say disclosure, that means where the people now begin to accept this gift and utilize it for their elimination of their basic need from food, water, and substance through the physical means and power means. Therefore, they can feed directly with the relationship with the plasma. They're looking into the quantum time. It's starting in February, the middle of February this year, 2016, where the full acceptance can occur. But it's telling me that there is variation, that there's people who have not reached that understanding yet. There will be a little resistant, but as the mass consciousness begin to accept it, it recognizes that everybody will move. Some will move fast, some will move slowly, some will be spontaneous, but overall, it is February. It's looking at it. So that's all I got from it, Dr. Kish, and this year.
So many ways we sit, we watch, but we decide.
Okay.
So in so many ways, the system you have developed, and the system we've seen with Ali, with system we've seen with what you call the health and the other sections. This is one totality in the whole structure. Something just came up. Can I see what was the last input? I just saw something in the messages. Can you open it?
You talking to me?
No, just one second.
In Zoom messages or some other place?
It says, can you expand on what means when you said about the coming change in time? There is people who concern asking you before that, can you tell us when would the earthquake of California be? If you want, I give you the time, the date, and the minutes. But that does nothing but create crisis and problems.
I can ask the McGrath intelligence. It know so much about.
Okay, tell them. Let's see if who's right. I write it on a piece of paper and I give it to somebody, and then they can check it.
Okay. It told me that, well, it gave me a strange answer. It say it's now. It depending on the emotion of the people. If they choose it, it will happen now. If they think positive about it won't happen, it will slow down. But it will happen when Dr. Kish, why it keeps saying April, April their potential.
April what?
No, the McGrath say the potential of the emotion is in April. April where
Spring of 2016 has been promised to be the point of change.
yes, it say April. And that's all it said. It don't give me it just give me the month and it don't give me the exact date, anything. That's all I got from it.
Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining to Dr. Parvis a couple of days ago, a few days ago, that we expect more or less earthquake in Tehran and Los Angeles more or less about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We estimate the total loss. The Iranian government estimate is anything between 5 to 15 million, average 10 million death, and then movement of the capital out of Tehran. They would not even bother to rescue or attempt rescue because the horrendous, the Tehran will be worse than Los Angeles. And more or less within once the Los Angeles earthquake or Iran earthquake happens, the other one will follow. And spring is usually the right time, or the autumn.
Yes. And it tell me this has to change in response to the heavy body movement of consciousness, and this planet is right now as visible in the Antarctica. It's showing me a planet that is 4 times the size of this planet, and it's not being visible on our side, but it's being visible in the Antarctica. Can you explain what the device mean by that, Dr. Keshe?
No, I leave it to you. You're the answer.
I think I could. I believe the radio telescopes are probably in Antarctica, and they've apparently discovered a new planet that's beyond Pluto, and it's as big as Neptune, which is probably about 4 times the size of Earth. And it's just been discovered recently.
No, the device say this planet is here. It's in proximity of our planet.
Well, it is. That's right. This other planet has now been discovered for the first time in history. So perhaps it's due for a flyby or something like that, because it has an erratic orbit that's way out there now, but it might be also coming into the inner solar system.
It tells me that this planet is physically here in the southern pole, and it's showing me image, and there is moon around this planet too, and I'm asking why it's not being visible from our side. And it told me the way that our angular, how we view the sky. If we right now in Antarctica, we will see this physical planet is so huge and it's passing by our planet.
I tell you, as I said before, we're gonna stop this because let other people build the system.
Yes, and let them see it for themselves.
In a week or 2, then we get together.
Okay. They sound like a winner.
Because this is far-fetched for a lot of people to understand. And you have achieved what we said, the system communication as you feel. And now I showed you the structure, how it happens, and let the others as usual, they need time.
They need direct experience. Yes,
they need to build it. They need to build it with the intention of peace. And then we'll see. This is very easy for a lot of people to build. And in so many ways,
So it's good in getting
those of you who already built a space system, you need to add another stacker of 3 below or above your present system, and then you find out not you can control the flight, you can control it through your thoughts. There was a control system missing, and now you received a control system. I tell you something else you can do by physically being able to control the system as it sits there. And then you won't hear, you just act.
Okay.
I prefer you not to do it. I don't disclose.
Okay. No, I'm still learning also.
No problem.
Yeah.
I
just go drop by drop, and hopefully other. But it's communicates so fast, Dr. Keshe. I have to like take a minute to catch up with it.
Understand?
The device.
What I want you to do, flatten the box. No, the top box is in that angle. Can you flatten it and make it straight?
Let me do.
Has to be perfect.
Yes.
Now,
it just don't
touch it.
Okay. It just don't enjoy me touching it, because every time I touch it, it just lash out at me. It say, "Alert! Please don't touch me."
Okay, touch it. Don't touch it. Just hold it. Don't move it. Don't hold it. Ask a question. Would it like to become part of you, or you become part of it?
It told me in this relationship, it said my body cannot handle the full spectrum of this symbiotic of potential. It said, but it told me that I am already a part of it to a certain extent.
No, I want you to ask if you want to be part of it, or would you like it to become part of you?
Okay. I'm telling it right now. It's saying yes.
Yes.
It's saying yes.
Okay. Place your head above the top box on your chin.
Are you sure?
Touch it. Yeah. Not from that way. You're the wrong way around. You have to put your chin.
Oh.
Put it on the table. Can you move it on the table?
No, Dr. Keshe. It's so heavy. It's made from glass. All this is glass.
If you can put your chin on top of the top glass, where, yeah, you're too far out. You're not very front. You should start feeling you're out. You need to be further in. A little bit more.
Okay, how's that?
Okay. Now ask the same question. Would you like to become part of you, or you want to be part of it?
Would you like to be a part of me, or I'm a part of you? I feel, oh my goodness, Dr. Keshe, I feel strange. I hear yes, then I feel very like expanded for some reason. Like I'm entering a different world. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm being expanded. I'm not physically part of my body anymore. Does that make sense? That's why I'm moving my head away from it. Ow.
If you can ask it, then you become untouchable to feeling. Physicality is irrelevant. That's why you see expanded.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm being torn apart. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of.
You are not ready. Don't do it. And
okay. And I still feel like someone just grabbed my head. Like taking my consciousness out. Does that make sense?
I know exactly how you feel. That's why I asked you to do it. In the future, the control system is the key that one man controls the craft and not many. And this is how it's done.
Wow. I was not ready to let go. I felt like I have to leave my body or something. I don't know. It was strange. Yes, and then I still feel it, Dr. Keshe. I still feel like something want to pull me in.
You become part of it. It's stronger than you.
Wow.
And is this
No,
where emotional control comes in, Mr. Keshe, or how do we learn to deal with that?
There is no emotion. It's building up a trust in knowing that you are part of the creation.
Wow.
So you expand to the dimension of the creation. It is not something that you control.
Yeah. It felt like first
But
I could.
our emotions
Are
come
you?
up. Our emotions come up,
No.
and then they are.
What I want to ask you a question: are your parents still alive?
My